With the second pick in the 2015 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select D'Angelo Russell from The Ohio State University.
You told me yesterday that you felt you were the best player in this draft because of your journey. What is it about that journey?
The journey that I've been through, the stress, the pain that my family's been through, it's just tough, man. It's a surreal moment that I can't really explain.
I mean, I always had hoop dreams. I always wanted to be drafted. It's a symbolic moment, going on the stage, putting your team's hat on, shaking the commissioner's hand. That's 3 stamps that you do on draft day. That was definitely a life-changing moment for me.
Hi, what's up? I'm Patrick O'Dell. This show is about D'Angelo Russell. We're gonna start here in Louisville, Kentucky, where he was born and raised, where he discovered basketball. Hear from his brothers, hear from his parents, to really get to know where he came from.
When I tell people I'm from Kentucky or Louisville, they ask, oh, the Kentucky Derby or Kentucky Fried Chicken or something like that. It's not really known for too much, Muhammad Ali maybe, but it's more of a small city, you know, it's very country, a southern type vibe, but it's home for me.
We're at Antonio Russell's house. We're gonna meet D'Angelo's dad.
Hello,
Hi, I'm Patrick.
I'm Chloe.
How you doing, sir? I'm Antonio.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, sir. Come on in.
Chloe, whose statue is this?
D,
Who's Dee?
my brother.
What's your brother like?
He's funny, he's silly, and that's it.
Well, D'Angelo was born into 2 teenage sweethearts, myself and his dad. So for a long time, there were just the 3 of them, Antonio, LaShawn, and D'Angelo. And they were the 3 amigos.
Growing up with them, it was always like being the middleman. They've always been competitive when it comes to anything.
Whose nails are longer, who's taller, who's faster, who was bigger, who could eat more bologna sandwiches. Sean was always the mature one. I was like the typical bigger brother. I tried to bully D'Angelo at any chance I got. D'Angelo was a typical little brother. He tried to get on my nerves every chance he got. Me and D'Angelo was pretty much outside kids. We were just into any and everything, like typical boys.
It was to a point to where we were getting in trouble for being competitive. I remember we were playing football in the house and we start breaking stuff around the house, you know, and it got us in a lot of trouble.
From kindergarten to 4th grade, he was always in trouble, but not mischievous to hurt others, just could not sit in his seat. Few trips to the principal and we talk and a little time out here and there, and he kind of would get it back together.
His drive was to go to school, make everybody laugh, have fun. His sister said it best, silly, fun, always a jokester. So when we found basketball, that was a way for me to push him, because if he wasn't making the cut academically, he wasn't gonna play any athlete sports.
You never felt like he would go in the wrong direction or hang out with the wrong people, or?
I never thought that he would do that. A lot of their counterparts started to. We live in a really rough neighborhood.
I grew up, we call it the West End. A lot of kids in the area. You could say gang related, however you want to put it.
I kept them in activities, gave them opportunities just to do other things and keep them busy so that they wouldn't get in any trouble. Basketball, it was a way to keep mine occupied.
When we were like 5, 6 years old, my grandmother, she wanted to put a basketball court in her backyard.
She was a lot taller than a lot of grandmothers. She was about 6 foot. Seemed like she used to play basketball back in her day.
And I remember them putting the cement down and us writing our names in like the cement.
This was like our court. And for like the longest, we didn't even have a rim yet.
She had like a handyman that he hammered in a crate, cut out the bottom of it, and the basketball barely fit through. So like sometimes you would shoot or do a layup and the ball would get stuck. You'd have to go punch it down, something like that, you know? So that was really my first memory of basketball.
That court was so integral to our childhood. Just picture like 3 feet people trying to jump off of crates, just trying to dunk, like thinking we were Michael Jordan or something. When they started playing basketball, that's when the competition really began.
I get a lot of credit on how he kind of developed, because I was always older, my friends were older, and we tried to bully him every chance we got.
He's not into, oh, this is my little brother, I'm gonna let him win, or I'm gonna take it light on him. No, you're my little brother and I'm gonna beat you every time.
He was always bigger than me, so when we would play, he would just like play bigger, stronger, and I was faster, so I tried to use that.
He was immediate flashy. Basketball, he was trying to throw 4-court passes.
When he got to 6th grade, he started to really flourish.
When he started to win, that's when I started to realize, like, okay, my he's kind of good.
My freshman year, coming into the high school that they were already at, it was kind of a buzz that everybody's like, man, your little brother's coming here, he could have went anywhere. And I was like, I want to go to school with my brothers.
Well, I went there too. A lot of great people have went to that school.
The most notable is Muhammad Ali and D'Angelo Russell.
They were doing a lot of AAU traveling and showcasing his talents, and the talk around town was starting to buzz, like, hey, this kid's special.
My dad was like, you want to go to prep school? And I was like, yeah, Rondo did it. He's in the league. Like, just naming up people that already did it.
He said, Mom, I'm moving to Florida. I said, but things are going great at Central. You with your brother? He's like, no, Mom, I gotta do something else. I gotta get away from here. I wanna go.
We're here at Mount Verde Academy, which is a high school not far from Orlando, Florida. And this is where D'Angelo Russell came in order to hone his skills as a basketball player under the coaching of Kevin Boyle. I think in Kentucky at Central High School, he was a star player. And then you come down here and everyone was a star player from wherever they came from. While here, D'Angelo won 2 national championships. It really prepared him for life at Ohio State University, where he went after this.
Mount Verde Academy is a boarding school that's over 100 years old. We have about 750 kids in the high school, and about half those are boarders. We have kids from 81 countries.
The culture shock was just crazy for me. It was like I went to the basketball practice and I saw how many players were just running, dunking, and just looked like a college team, basically. Everybody's 6'9", 7 foot, and I was just like, man, I'm gonna get better here.
In our Center for Basketball Development, we have 84 kids from 21 countries, and the varsity team has gotten a lot of publicity from their success, winning 4 high school national championships in the last 6 years, and from attracting some terrific players. When D'Angelo first got here, I remember meeting him, and the first day he walked in the gym, he was very confident that he thought his game was good, and it was good. I love the self-confidence, but not arrogance, that fine line that you have great belief in yourself. He needed to be a little more coachable. He was always respectful.
D'Angelo, honestly, were you gonna throw that? Were you gonna throw that before I said dump it in? It was a great pass, and it was an easy decision. That's how you're gonna be seen. That takes you to a whole nother level.
Honestly, I've had tough coaches my whole life. Coaches curse you out, yell at you, run you to death. And I always managed to take it the right way. And once I got to Mount Verde, first practice, Kevin Boyle cursed me out in front of everybody. And I'm like, didn't take it as he's trying to help me. I'm like, I don't even know this dude. At least I knew those coaches, before they start treating me like that. I'm thinking that he just hated me.
I think with D'Angelo, right away I knew he had the confidence to become a star level player, which is something a lot of people don't have. And if anything, I think he needed to be toned down a little bit, humbled a little bit.
So I would call my dad and was like, man, I don't think they really want me here like they said they did.
It was real rocky.
And I was like, I'm ready to come home. And he's like, nah, you gotta stick it out. We done been through too much and sacrificed too much for you to turn back now.
I had to sacrifice me being a father to the rest of my kids, my income. I had to sacrifice a lot.
I told his dad, don't give him an out. And in the end, everything's gonna be great for him. When kids come to Mount Verde, the biggest thing is adjusting to the rules. Academically, it's hard. Coach is gonna be very demanding and coach you hard.
I was getting challenged in the classroom and I was getting challenged on the court. Going to Mount Verde was just a reality check, basically. Everybody's coming from being the guy, having to be humble to make it work. So once I got there and I was playing against some of the top guys, it's almost like being a rookie in the league.
When it comes to the championships at high school, I get to brag a little bit because they played 3 national championships and he won 2 out of 3 national championships.
And that's when a lot of attention started coming around our school.
His junior year, that team was arguably one of the best teams in the history of high school basketball. At that point, it just all clicked and he started to dominate.
They probably lost less than 10 games out of 3 years.
He was an amazing high school athlete, absolutely making a name for himself to the whole entire world. He found himself doing magical things.
We're in Columbus, Ohio at The Ohio State University. D'Angelo Russell had a lot of choice about different universities that wanted him where he could have gone. He really clicked with the Ohio State basketball coach, Thad Matta. D'Angelo Russell had a one-and-done year. So this is the last place D'Angelo played before going to New York and being drafted into the NBA.
Thad Matta recruited him for at least 2 or 3 years, so we got to know him.
When I first learned about D'Angelo, it was the first day of the recruiting period in July. This kid's out there, he's throwing no-look passes. I think he had 5 threes in the first half. At that particular moment, I knew I had to have him.
The relationship I had with the coaching staff, Thad Matta, Jeff Bowles, they were probably in Florida every 2 weeks just making sure I was on top of my grades and doing what I had to do to qualify.
So we sit down, and D'Angelo and his dad are sitting in my office, and D'Angelo says, Coach, I'm coming to Ohio State. His dad says, hold up. We got to go look at some other schools.
Me as a father, I'm like, okay, all right. Ohio State's a good school, but let's wait till the summer. He's like, no, Pops, I want to commit right now.
So they get into an argument in my office. I'm just sitting there going back and forth like, I can't believe this is happening. But he's like, Dad, I don't want to go anywhere else. I know I can reach my dreams and my potential at Ohio State. This is where I'm going.
When you're getting recruited, a lot of colleges might sell you a dream, but with Coach Matta, he's going to tell you from day one what he expects and what he sees in your future. And I think that's why, you know, D'Angelo and I chose here, because we knew that all the success Coach Matta had, and we wanted to be a part of that and the tradition he set. He's a genuine guy, speaks from the heart.
Every now and then, as a coach, you get a special connection. That he knew I cared a lot more about he and his family than I did him as a basketball player and what he could do for me and my career. It's a lot deeper than basketball, and I think he feels just my appreciation for him.
At the end of the day, he just wants you to play hard and give it your all out there. He wasn't really a yeller, and when he did yell, you know you did something really bad.
Coach Matta was probably the most positive coach I've ever had.
From the start, D-Russ, he was a pro. And I'm not even talking about what he did on the court, just how he carried himself, always in the gym perfecting his craft, and he was a scholar athlete.
I know he was over a 3.0 in his time at Ohio State.
Honestly, it was easy because Mom Verd prepared me like great for college. It was that much easier.
One of the great things about coaching D'Angelo was I could say to him at any point in the game, D'Angelo, take the game over. And he would just take it to another level, and that's when I knew that he was different.
I was doing stuff I'd never done before. I was making shots that I've never made. I was making people fall. I was throwing passes I've never thrown. My confidence was just over the top. I just knew from that point on I had a chance.
D'Angelo came to Ohio State, wanted to make a name for himself, wanted to win. And you know, as the season was going along, he started getting more and more recognition as the nation's best point guard.
He was the National Guard of the Year.
When he got to college, he wasn't on the draft board. And once the season's over, they predicted him to be a lottery pick. It was like, that's what we dreamed of.
Coaches were telling me there was just no way. They was like, we can't keep him.
Honestly, the whole year I never really talked about it, so I could just focus on basketball, my grades.
I always knew he was ready.
Jay Sean Tate was one of my closest boys. He always joked about it.
He would always be like, yeah, we're gonna do this next year and all this. I'm like, bro, you're not gonna be here next year. You'd be crazy to come back.
I was looking forward to experiencing college. I guess God had a different plan for me.
We didn't know he was going to be a one and done. But you know what? For D'Angelo and his family, I couldn't be happier.
I went to his office and was like, yeah, I think it's time. He's like, I knew that. He's like, I was just waiting for you to tell me so it didn't look like I was telling you to leave. You had to leave. The league was kind of, calling for me, so I had to go.
So we're here in Brooklyn, New York, where the 2015 NBA draft took place. It's a big night for a lot of these guys. Their entire life has been a journey leading up to this moment.
That's what you live for. Play your whole life trying to get drafted.
It was a big night for the whole family.
The draft and the media process was a whirlwind for me.
When you come to draft day, you know, all it is, the whole day is about the anticipation of the event. You're looking at your suit, making sure every little wrinkle is out.
We didn't know what D'Angelo was wearing. He loved Ohio State. I mean, he wore the scarlet, gray, and the white, and I think he just wanted to pay tribute to the university. They'd done a lot for him.
I knew I had to represent my college.
He came out in that red and white, and it looked beautiful.
To the draft we go.
Good evening, and welcome to the 2015 NBA Draft. Which of these young men picked tonight will be next to alter the destiny of his franchise?
Just proud my little brother, the dream is getting accomplished, man, for real.
He was projected top 5. It was the Timberwolves, the Lakers, the Sixers.
It was a lot that played into it. Where can you go and play right away? What teams need a guard, what teams need a big?
When he was going through his workout process, he had a pretty good workout everywhere. It was hard to know where he stood out most.
He worked tremendously hard in the offseason. When we were working together pre-draft, you could just see the fire in his eyes to prove people wrong. Because people his whole life have doubted him. And he never liked being doubted because he knew the skill and the amount of work he put into his craft was second to none.
The first pick, when the draft started, my heart was pounding.
With the first pick in the 2015 NBA Draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Karl Anthony Towns.
I was very fortunate to go number 1 and have that pressure released very early.
Karl Towns went number 1, everybody knew that, but he dominated college.
D'Angelo, you know, we all didn't know.
I just remember sitting at the table and the cameras rushed to me. My heart started pounding. I feel like everybody at the table knew where I was going.
So I was on NBA TV, and they said the second pick was in. Adam Silver walks out. I completely stopped what question they were asking me, whatever. I didn't care.
With the second pick in the 2015 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select D'Angelo Russell from The Ohio State University.
They called my name and I was like, man, life changed from there. But it was so fast that like my emotions didn't even get to set in.
When they called his name, it was just a whirlwind.
We all like stood up, shook each other's hand, and then we all started crying. It was tears galore, we was boo-hooing. It was the most ugliest crying faces you've ever seen. Even the agents were crying with us. It was beautiful, man.
It's a symbolic moment, going on the stage, putting your team's hat on, shaking the commissioner's hand. That's 3 stamps that you do on draft day to achieve those goals, putting that hat on. That was definitely a life-changing moment for me.
They came and gave all of us hats. And I was like putting my hat on, let me put this hat on tight. This hat's not coming off.
I wish everyone could see the moment that someone that they love meets their dream. He still has more work to do, but his dream was to make it to the NBA.
It's just been a crazy whirlwind ever since.
We go through so much to get to where you are today, and once you walk across that stage and realize I made it,